Yeah.
You are the smart guy.
We had exactly that same conversation last time.
Yeah, maybe we can save time.
Like, I don't mind starting the podcast like that, like explaining like the roots.
But yeah, you guys, how have you been? Like, it's been a long time.
It's been, I think it was last year.
It was last year. Yeah,
I can't believe this.
I don't remember telling y'all guys, but Happy New Year's. I don't remember telling y'all Happy New Year's at all.
I didn't. I thought about it, sending in the group, but it was already so late, like 2 weeks later.
Man,
I was like,
I'm
whatever.
still giving people Happy New Year's.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Well.
You Uber drivers, man, all the time. Happy New Year's, my brother. February. I'm out.
Well, but the year actually starts right now in February, not in January. So
no, January was a whole year already.
Yeah, it was long. It was long month.
It was a long ass month.
But I mean, the year only starts in February, right?
What you mean?
After Carnival.
Here
Yeah, even
January, people are
later.
usually celebrating.
In Brazil.
Because they're on vacation,
Everybody's on vacation. Yeah,
even
that's
like
correct.
at the swimming place where you go to, people were not
Nobody
going.
goes.
And
Oh,
today
really?
was
Yeah.
like crowded, very crowded.
To me, it's after Easter.
After Easter.
After Easter
Maybe.
is where the
Maybe.
year actually starts.
Okay. Yeah.
In Brazil, it never really starts.
Yeah, so like I think the audience can tell that we're actually very, very close friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
We speak like twice a year.
Yeah, twice a year we see each other like never.
I think it was
And you guys
before.
don't reply to my messages. It'll take forever.
I don't reply
I
anyone's
don't think
messages.
so.
Yeah.
We do. I mean,
you're one of ours.
All right. Okay.
I'm so sorry, man. That's something I need to get better at.
All right. So, you guys, I wanted to start with something interesting. It's going to be the quote of the day, and I just want to get your guys' reaction
All right.
on it. Have you ever noticed that anybody driving slower than you is an idiot, and anyone going faster than you is a maniac? This is actually...
Man.
Yeah.
but it makes sense.
It makes sense.
It kind of makes
I don't
sense
know.
if you think
I
about.
think it depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, shoot.
I always feel
I don't
like
think-
that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it depends on like. Let's just say like you're in the street. You don't know what is the right speed limit.
Yep.
So it's a new situation. You see someone go past fast, you're like, man, what a dumbass. But that is actually the right speed limit. You're the one that's a dumbass.
Yeah, but
you're the
you-
one that's slow.
Yeah, but you thought the guy was a maniac.
Yeah, you did think.
Yeah,
it.
you thought.
But that's
It's just a reference. Everybody...
No, but to
Yeah.
think it is one thing, but like to actually be sure about it, that's another thing.
Yeah, no, but that's
No, yeah,
only
we don't
thinking.
know.
So it's all
only
about it's only your thought.
perception. It's
Oh,
only your
it is.
perception.
So that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it's actually a joke from a guy called George Carlin.
I love
don't know
George
if you
Carlin.
guys...
I love George
Okay,
Carlin.
yeah, he's an American comedian.
It was a good one.
Yeah,
It was a good one.
Rest in peace.
unfortunately. Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah.
He died old though, so he lived well. I mean, he lived very well.
I don't know how...
He's a
old he
legend.
was.
He's a legend. If y'all don't know George Carlin, search it up. That is I mean,
Is this your advice?
the thing is that he's more of a philosopher than a comedian. So I don't laugh at almost none of his jokes, but I love hearing his insight. That
Yes, exactly. There are many videos where he's like... It's a stand-up comedy, I think.
it's
Kind of, but
Stand-up.
he's talking about
He's talking
more
about-
philosophical things like
Yeah.
general knowledge and like global warming and stuff like that.
that people don't really think about. So he thinks out the box.
Exactly.
And
And I
that
think
That's what comedy is for. Think out the box.
and also common sense.
Yeah.
He speaks a lot of common sense.
He does.
Like getting out of academia, for example, because sometimes the experts, the so-called experts,
Right.
they're talking about things, we know it all, you know, but sometimes you're as a regular average person, you're like, that doesn't make any sense. And he brings some sense into the things that
And I don't know
he talks about.
if y'all ever heard of this, but there's like a 7-word thing that he questioned. He was like, well, I can use the word, pussy, shit, something like that, because they all mean different things. They don't mean like a bad word. They actually mean like either, poop, pussy in terms of a cat. So like those words that at the time were censored were starting to be looked at in a different way. So maybe because of the way he actually questioned that, like, these words we say, every time in different ways, but they mean different things. and
Yeah.
that started to change the society in terms of like culture, in terms of like movies, TV. So he was actually very influential, linguistically speaking, technically speaking, which is amazing.
It is, yeah. And it's interesting to see how comedians sometimes because I used to think of comedians when I was younger as those type of guys who do goofy stuff,
right?
Very silly stuff.
Yeah, like Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
like
those
that.
kind of things. But like recently, I've started to appreciate how comedians think, because they, as you said, they think out of the box and they make you think of other issues that maybe you didn't think before. And like George Carlin is a perfect example of such a comedian.
And nowadays, the 3 comedians that I enjoy, like they're my reference for comedy as what it should be, in terms of like not taking political correctness and all that, like questioning everything, like being in the limit of what's supposedly right and wrong. Dave Chappelle, Ricky Gervais, and Bill Burr.
Yeah.
I love these guys.
Yeah, those 3.
Guys.
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais is the one that created The Office, so you already know what's it's about, right?
The British version, right? Not the American. If you guys, because everybody knows.
He produced both versions. Actually.
Both of them.
He produced both.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm very sure.
Okay.
He produced both versions.
Nice.
That is why he was actually one of the episodes in the American versions. He was the one producing.
He was, yeah. I remember in one of the episodes. Yeah, you didn't watch it?
I didn't watch this, but every episode I watch, I'm extremely like, oh my days, this is a whole different type of show. Man, I can't even look at the screen. I'm like, man, this is a whole nother thing. Ever watched The Office?
Yeah, I love The Office. I mean, the American version.
Yeah, no, the American version.
I mean, the British version I did not watch.
I've
never seen it either. Only the American one.
Yeah,
Bill Burr
but it's perfect. I mean, the jokes are kind of... Some people, I think, if they watch today, they're going to feel... I think they will get offended, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah, there are some...
At the time, people were offended.
I
Imagine
think so.
that.
Yeah, it's a show that would not be produced today. There are many shows like that.
Really nice.
Which is a bad thing.
It is.
Because I think that nowadays they don't make live action shows like that. They make cartoons out of it. So like if there's actually shows that do a lot of interesting things that are considered to be offensive, but they do it in cartoons.
Yeah, so nobody's gonna question.
No, it's different. It's kind of like Big Mouth. I think Big Mouth is extremely funny. It's very stupid, but I enjoy it.
I've never seen it.
It's man, how you say it involves like a lot of like it talks about puberty, that stage of puberty, and like it
I remember you telling me about it a few years ago. Not a few years, but let's say a year ago when we met. Probably. I don't know.
I mean, probably. The thing is that I don't remember nothing that I say. Yeah. So everything that I say right now, I won't.
You don't remember? Yeah, because last week you told me that you would give me some money today.
Yeah, that is something that I should remember not saying. I can remember the things that I don't say, but what I say is like kind of flimsy.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So
guys, let's...
Oh, there was actually one thing. So F is for Family was created by Bill Burr, and it seems like to be actually a funny cartoon. I didn't watch it yet, but it seems very funny. It talks about his childhood, so...
All right. So I want to bring some topics for us, some fun topics. Fun facts, going back to the driving stuff. Fun fact number 1. I don't even know which camera to look at. Maybe that one. The average person spends 2 weeks of their entire lives waiting at red lights. 2 weeks of their lives.
I think Higuain is like 2 years.
Why do you have this? I mean, why do we have this? Like, I mean, the way we have here is kind of...
Yo, it's bizarre. I don't remember a red light that you wait 90 seconds.
There are some, yeah.
You wait a minute and a half.
There are many.
A minute and a half.
Nowadays. Yeah.
Like, I think it's okay if you wait for a minute and a half. Like in Brazil, sometimes you have to wait longer. However, you just wait here and then
but it's like
you drive for a long time.
Streets in Guyana, like many stop signs, is like 90 seconds.
I think the problem in Guyana is like this, for example, you drive here and then 100 meters, there's another one, and then you have to stop again. So, and you don't understand it.
T1 and T8 Avenue.
Well, you don't understand. Why can't you just, I don't know, just synchronize the
Make
those
like a
things, you
green
know?
wave, as they call it, right?
Yeah, and then you go.
When one turns green, and then you can have like the several
we don't get
others,
it.
The next one.
Man, we are in 2023, man.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
don't know. They have to figure it out. Fun fact number 2. Whether you're driving above or significantly below the speed limit, you are at a higher risk for a car accident. Does that make sense?
I don't think it makes sense when you are really lower. I think maybe other people are gonna be involved, but you're gonna be cool about it.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
It depends on where you're in the
I think
street.
nothing's gonna happen, right? You're just gonna piss other people off, and other people are gonna, I don't know, crash, but nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, but then it really slows down traffic, right? Because I think it's
Does.
really good when you go with the flow,
That is correct.
even if they're speeding a little bit.
No, it's not right.
Or if they're
you
going
think about it,
too
it's not
slow,
right when you do this.
kind of have to go to be in the same flow as everybody else, the same speed or similar.
Not really.
Because if you're driving too
Not really,
fast, like
if
a lot
you-
faster than everybody else,
If you ride too slow, isn't that like a crime or something like that? I don't know if I saw
It
that.
should
so.
be.
I think
It
so.
should be,
It-
but
it
I don't think
isn't.
nothing
In the
happens
US,
here.
I think it is. I don't know in Brazil, but in the
I think
US,
it is.
I think there is like a maximum and a minimum speed.
Man, I swear to God that I saw that in like, I don't know what's the term in English. School.
School driving?
When you were getting a license.
Driving
when I
school?
was getting my
Like
license.
driving school?
Yeah,
DMV.
driving school. When I was, trying to get my license, I swear I saw something like that, but I don't know if it was like a little test, like, oh, it's supposed to be a crime, but it's not a crime. Like this should be punished, but it's not punished.
But
I don't remember.
you mean that in Brazil or?
No, in Brazil. Here,
Oh, in
like,
Brazil.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it is. I don't think it is. I never heard anything about
Man,
it.
I think it doesn't happen. Nothing happens, because you are too slow. And then, if there are people behind you, man, nothing's going to happen.
Right.
I mean,
But imagine merging into a highway. Everybody's going kind of fast, and then you go really slow, and someone doesn't see you, or maybe doesn't have enough time to brake. You know what I mean?
no,
Like everybody's going like on
the.
the main road, on the main highway, and then there's like a merge street that someone is coming from it, and like it's merging.
Well,
into
something bad is going to
the
happen
highway.
this way. Yeah, if you
very
think about it this
slowly,
way, yeah, yeah.
because you have like that extra lane where you're supposed to speed up, like gain speed and then join the traffic. But imagine like if you just stop and then you slowly enter the highway.
Yeah, in
you
this
can
example,
cause a
yeah,
serious
definitely.
accident.
Yeah, definitely.
So
yeah,
I
in
think,
this example, yeah.
this fun fact makes sense.
It is. But what should be a crime though is because it's raining and the streets are like flooded.
Oh yeah, and
Those
people
guys
are
that
dying.
have no clue. Like when you're like next to the street walk, you're supposed to walk like your car is not supposed to be that fast because you're gonna flood the people that are walking in the.
Oh, you mean like
sidewalk.
splashing people?
It's splashing
Okay.
people, man. I've been splashed by buses these days.
I'm sorry, man, but I think
I think those motherfuckers should be, I don't know, punished.
Yeah.
At least. Like in prison. At least that's a crime, man.
I'm sure they're having fun watching you get soaked in that.
They don't
dirty
even
water.
see it. They don't even care. Like,
don't
man,
care,
they-
of course not.
They don't see who's like walking.
I only care about that because there's probably like a pothole.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
y'all have cars. You don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I mean like as a
When
driver.
I walk to,
No, but I
to
mean
my home,
as a driver, I care about splashing other people. I won't do it because there's probably like a pothole
we're
or
on
something,
camera, folks.
So I
That's
don't
why
want
he's
to.
saying that.
I don't want to like
let me see
ruin
if,
my car.
Let me see if I understand correctly. You're just thinking about the pothole,
Yes, and my car.
not the people.
No,
Okay,
not at all.
I'm kidding. Well, it's okay.
Fun fact number 3. Moving away from driving, your personality can change depending on the language you speak. You guys think that makes sense?
I'm more cocky when I speak English, so yes.
Do you think
I
so?
agree.
You are.
Oh, extremely.
I think I speak more, or maybe I'm more outgoing when I speak English. I think. Yeah,
It's interesting because like
it is true.
after
I
almost
mean,
10 years, I'm still more confident speaking in English than in Portuguese.
Really?
It is. I speak in my natural voice in English, not in Portuguese,
Okay.
good one.
which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so natural to me talking like this. But in Portuguese, I don't speak it the same way.
Well, which language did you learn
Portuguese.
first? Portuguese.
Portuguese, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the same goes for me. I think I'm a lot more talkative in English than I am in Portuguese.
Yeah.
I'm talkative either way, but like being more like natural, more like confident.
Okay.
I speak better in English. I mean, not that I speak good English,
Oh, yeah.
but you know, it's more natural.
All right. Okay. So yeah, I was, when searching this, I saw this interesting article. I don't remember all the details, but it said something that...
Enlighten us.
I'm lying?
No, enlighten us.
Oh, enlighten us. Okay. So this study found that people shift from intuitive to rational thinking when they use their a second language. So like in my case, my mother tongue is Portuguese.
Right.
And the second language is English. So because I'm not a native speaker, it's like I think more about what I'm going to say next.
Right.
I'm more rational instead of just speaking out of emotion.
Yeah,
so I kind of think it makes sense. Yeah, this study.
When I read that title, I didn't think about that perspective. I thought about the perspective of like thinking my thoughts through, and I realized whenever I was like having this insight, try to think about certain things, I use my English instead of Portuguese. I think about things in English. Like the more rational decisions that I make is usually when I'm thinking in English, talking to myself like, it's happening this and this and this and this. I need to take this attitude, which is the best decision. I think in English, not in Portuguese.
I kind of do that, but not
frequently.
It's like every day I try to be thinking or listening to stuff in English so I can practice.
No, to me, it's just natural. It just comes out of nowhere.
So it's like I force myself to do it.
Right. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, I think I usually prefer to think in English. I don't know why. I think it's just a preference. When I pray or when I don't know. When I study, I usually prefer stuff in English. But I don't know why.
In your case, English makes more sense, though.
I think so, yeah. But usually, for example, with me in Portuguese, I try to think a lot when I speak. So I speak slower in Portuguese. It's funny.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I think a lot when I speak. And I'm kind of, maybe some people would say that I'm boring because the way that I speak, because I'm really slow because I think a lot. I don't like making mistakes.
Right.
In Portuguese, mistakes like grammar mistakes or even I don't like saying I don't want to say something that you're not gonna understand, or I don't know, feel that you take the wrong way, for example.
Right.
So I think maybe in English, I feel better. I don't know. I feel that I'm more.
It seems more
flexible.
fluid.
Yeah, I think it's more flexible.
More spontaneous, maybe.
Yeah. I feel that way. And maybe I have this in English. Sometimes I even swear in English, so this is something that is not good.
Yeah, I've never seen you swear in Portuguese.
So in Portuguese,
but
I
in
never
English,
do
it's
this.
like all the time.
No, Portuguese, I never do this. Never in Portuguese.
But
no,
I did notice this
seriously.
this goes back to the fun fact number 2 or 3 about the way you change when you speak a different language. Like I noticed this when you were talking in Portuguese, you sound like a different person.
Yeah, definitely.
English Alex is the anti-hero. Right?
Yeah. So if you guys are listening to this and watching and have no idea why we're doing this, let's explain now, right?
Sure.
So everybody, I have contact with many people who study English because I organize meetings for people to practice English. And people always ask me, like, what is the best way to practice, my English if I'm not, let's say, in the United States or in Canada, in England? What can I do? Especially if I can go to one of those meetings to speak the language. And I used to say movies, series, watch movies and series. But that's, coming to think of it, it's like, okay, it's not a very spontaneous conversation, right? When the actors are acting.
Right.
And the series too. And I was like, okay, maybe how about, I don't know, the news, if you're watching the news. That's really easy to understand because the journalists, they have this really clear voice, a really clear way of speaking. and it's really easy, but it's kind of boring, and maybe you don't want to see or watch a certain topic that they're talking about, maybe politics or foreign policies or just local news. It's like, okay, it is good, but it's boring. And then I came up with interviews. Interviews are interesting too, because let's say you really like a singer or an actor, and they go to a live Saturday Night Live, for example, and then the guy's, talking to them and interviewing them. You're going to be interested because you like the person and maybe you're interested in what they have to say. But then again, they are native speakers. They might be speaking too fast, and that may be a challenge for you guys to really understand what they're saying. And then podcast is also a different or another suggestion, but also comes to the thing, if you're listening to a podcast done by native speakers, it's kind of hard to understand too because they speak too fast, they use a lot of slang. And then I came up with this idea, or actually I searched for this podcast in English, done either by native speakers or non-native speakers, but focused on English learners. If you want to learn and practice your English, like they're going to speak in a certain way, and that's going to be the focus with maybe subtitles. And, well, we came up with this idea, right? And here we are.
I love Rogerio's humbleness because this was his idea. This was not our idea. He invited us, and we just accepted. And
that's it.
I'm here for the money. I'm just for
the money.
The suggestion, the invitation that Rogerio made for me, Marcelo, Alex, to be a part of this project, it's really awesome because, it's like you said, it's very difficult for us to find, these alternatives to learn English, to absorb the language. If you think about the language that you speak right now, in terms of your mother language, you only have that because of practice. It's not because of theory. It's not because of grammar and rules and all that. No, it's because of practice. It's because you do it every day, right? In English or any other language that you ever have interest in learning, it's practice. It's learning. It's observing. It's trying to repeat what other people say, how they say it, try to put in your own words what you're trying to say. So, and having this platform, and it's amazing to be in this day and age where things are so simple to do. I mean, what Rogerio did, this is not simple. You have to study, right? How to, get the lighting right, the camera placing, the microphone, sounds. But because he put the effort in it and be able to transmit to, we don't even know who's watching. But because we know that there's people that is interested in learning, that is already, we're already grateful for that. And we just want everyone else to be able to learn with us. Because it's like you said, we're not native from anywhere.
You kind of are, yeah. I mean, you sound like a native speaker.
I do sound
like Alex and me, like we learned English when we were adults already.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
But I mean, you sound like a native speaker.
But the difference is you two don't have no accent. You don't have a Brazilian accent.
I do.
You don't have.
I think everybody does have a little. Yeah,
a little.
Yeah, it's normal.
But if you hear it, like if I hear your voice and I didn't even know you, I would think, oh, this person is from the U.S.
I don't know.
Clearly,
I don't know. Maybe from California, right?
No,
like
I'm talking about just the audio. Just the audio. You don't have an accent. Alex is the same thing. In my case, sure, I don't have an accent, and I don't know how I still have this accent till this day.
Yeah.
But in my case, it's a little bit different. But in your case, you don't have an accent, but we speak differently. And it's interesting because there's a cousin of mine that lives in the U.S. And when she came to visit us, when I talked to her in English, she said, it's interesting because you speak English, you don't have no accent, but you speak differently. You don't speak like an American.
Maybe the word choice, like the way you speak,
the word choice,
structure of the sentences.
Sure. Maybe the word choice, maybe the way you just more more nice. I'm not saying that the U.S. people aren't nice, but
Yeah.
I'm nice. I'm nice, right?
Yeah, and what
Mark.
you're saying is really important because we don't really need to focus on having perfect grammar, for example.
Right.
We're gonna make lots of mistakes here, I'm sure. I have probably made some, speaking right now.
I'm not even sure it's right or wrong anymore. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But we want to show like whoever is watching this, like you can communicate, like, and you're able to talk about, complex subjects and talk about meaningful things, even if you don't have a perfect grammar and perfect pronunciation. As long as you're willing to, put yourself out there and like expose your ideas.
Right.
So that's what's most important. And of course, you'll learn, like, the more you speak and hear other people talking, you're going to learn words and learn better ways of saying certain things.
And you're going to feel more comfortable by the day when you practice. And it's important to try and practice your speaking. I know it's hard. I've lived in another country and I came back from that country. So I know it's like to be able to try to adapt in two different cultures and different languages. And the thing is that you cannot be shy because you're, withdrawing yourself from learning faster, from getting exposed and trying to be more comfortable to that new language. Just try. You don't have to be shy about anything. Just say it. I mean, it's easy to say when I already know it, but but when you, I started to try to learn French, and whatever French that I learned, man, I went to like my workplace, my friends, and I was like bonjour and shit, and I don't care, right? Because they don't know French, and I don't care if they judge me. It's like I'm trying to learn, so just try, just practice, and it'll be okay.
Yeah. And I mean, in short, we are not going to be teaching English on this channel.
I don't know
We're
how
not
to teach. Yeah.
Because I did find some podcasts where people are teaching, and it's like, yeah, it's fun, but like if you want listen to long conversations, a long format, then they don't have that. It's usually kind of not spontaneous. It's like they choose a topic. Let's say
it's more routine.
No, I mean, like, let's say you're at the
more
mall.
Scripted.
It's scripted. Exactly. It's scripted. So it's kind of boring. And what we want to do here is talk about things that matter to us.
Right.
Things that are entertaining, hopefully, for you guys.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can learn something with us.
Just a, observation. This is completely spontaneous. We had nothing scripted.
Gotta be careful.
We were talking about just different topics like before it started. So we might even talk about those topics within the episode, but I don't even know.
Yeah. But I mean, we're not specialists on anything, guys. Don't.
Yeah.
We're just saying out of.
If you don't know shit, if you think you don't know shit, it's because you haven't met us.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
We're just giving our uninformed and biased opinion on things.
This is completely unconventional and fun.
Sure. So let's move on. Of course, we don't have a script.
No, we don't.
But we do have like a sort of a structure, and I wanted to bring one topic,
right? Like
a relevant topic, and especially for us Brazilians, right? We have a representative, the Brazilian shirt,
we're all Brazilian. We're all Brazilian here. I'm just wearing
you're not, and I'm not either. But anyway, so the most relevant piece of news that we had this year was, of course, the Brazilian riots, the Capitol riots. People invaded the the parliament, the presidential palace, and the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So if you're Brazilian, you know what this is, what it meant. But if you're not, Google January 8th, 2023.
I didn't even know the date. I know it happened, but I didn't know the date. It was January 8th.
January 8th.
Damn.
Wow.
And you know why I remember this? Because we were talking before we started recording.
Right.
January 6th in the United States, when the Americans invaded the Capitol, it was January 6th.
Oh my God.
So like 2 years after, we do the same thing, but
2
worse.
Years, 2 days later.
In 2 days. We do the same thing, but worse.
Yeah, it is worse. It's because here in Brazil, we have no rules. I'll play. It's different, man. Like, it was funny because people in the U.S. was like, thinking it was like, oh, the cops were just like so nice to all of those people in the what is the name?
The Capitol,
Congress
Congress
in the U.S. Yeah, I don't remember what the name was, but like the cops was like they didn't seem like they were like so upset, like they supposed to like, well, we supposed to be containing these people, right? And here, man, the cops didn't give a fuck. Like you see videos of them, like, man, there were cops like getting beat up and shit. Even horses were getting beat up here in,
it was
in
crazy,
Brazil.
Man,
it was like a whole like wild scenario, man. And it's sad. It really is. I'm laughing.
It's sad, actually. Yeah, definitely.
So if you have no idea what this or why this happened, I just wanted to give a very brief explanation. People were happy about the election results, right? That's why they invaded those places, and they kind of like wanted to cancel the election and overturn the results. That's a short explanation.
No, but it's interesting because in the U.S., the elections was in November or was it December?
I don't remember the month.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But it was it was like right in the last part of the year, right?
Yeah.
In our case, it was like October. That was already like decided.
It was decided,
right?
Yeah.
And like 3 months later, like these people were like still like protesting and wanting to be sure that the new elected president wasn't going to govern the country, and all accumulated to what happened January 8th. So that's something, right?
It is something. But to have let's say a longer explanation, we kind of have to go back
hundreds of years, actually.
Hundreds of years, 500 years.
It started in Portugal.
No, we're kidding. We're not going to go back that far. But if we talk about the car wash operation, right? When the car wash operation was like the biggest scandal, right? The largest corruption that was ever discovered in Western hemisphere, I want to say.
Was it the car wash operation?
The car wash operation,
Wasn't it the other name?
No, car wash operation.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
And our president, the one who was elected, people were trying to overturn him somehow. He was convicted in this operation.
3 times, actually.
Yeah, I mean, 3 times?
Nah,
yeah, for like 3 different stuff.
2 instances.
Yeah.
And in the third one, dating, they found a way.
So yeah, he was convicted in 2017. I think 9 years sent to prison. That was a sentence.
I don't
something
have
like that.
I don't have the details. I don't remember.
And then 2018, Bolsonaro runs for president. He wins.
He started his campaign actually in 2016, and what made him so different from the other politicians was because he was social media famous, and at the time that wasn't actually unheard of. Because people didn't know how popular he actually was.
Yeah.
And then when he was starting to get elected, people didn't really take him serious. And then he was elected.
Exactly. No one believed.
Like, everyone was like extremely surprised of how popular he was social media wise. But in traditional media wise, people didn't understand like the power that he was starting to have.
Exactly. And as president, he appointed the federal judge who sentenced Lula to prison as his justice minister.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
So people were like, okay, what's going on here?
People actually thought that Brazil was actually going to change. Didn't change shit.
But anything.
It's part of it.
And yeah, like everybody was hopeful, like, okay, politicians, like dirty politicians and people who are stealing money from us, involved in corruption, they're finally going to jail. Yeah. And things are going to change.
I wasn't really that hopeful.
You were not. I kind of was.
I don't trust anyone, actually.
But then 2021, the Supreme Court just kind of like cancels Lula's conviction. And not only his, but like other people that were convicted too.
Yeah, because
as well.
They said that it wasn't in the appropriate place. He had to be judged in a different place. Yeah. And, well... It
was a technicality.
Yeah, it was a technicality.
They never said he's innocent. He did not commit those crimes. It was
and it was funny because Lula actually used that in his election campaign. That because it was overturned. This was like this technically was they canceled their judgment. I'm innocent. And he used that to be sure that people vote for him. Like, oh, no, they just got it wrong. He's innocent and all that. But he was never, innocent in the first place. Like, they just like moved to where he was going to be judged. That's it. But he was judged. He's actually guilty. He's guilty.
Yeah.
But, whatever.
And then he runs for president and then he wins. So it's like, it kind of makes sense why people are so pissed about him winning.
Yeah, of course.
So it's not just like, oh, I don't like this candidate. I wanted the other one, and let's invade, those buildings, the public property. You guys have to understand like this whole context.
Yeah, and it's actually a huge thing.
It's a huge thing. Like this, we could talk about this for hours. But I wanted to focus on something different.
All right.
Our Mongrel Complex. Do you guys know what a Mongrel Complex?
What is a Mongrel Complex?
A mongrel. It's like a mutt. You know, a dog that has no breed. It's called a mutt.
Okay.
So a mongrel. It's the same word, like a mutt complex. So we Brazilians, apparently, we have this Mongrel Complex. It's like we think Americans, for example, or every other, first world country is better than us.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. I don't have that perception anymore. Not because of, in terms of infrastructure, we're very, there's a word for it, but I don't remember. It's not in the best conditions in terms of infrastructure, but in terms of relationships, I still prefer third world relationships. Yeah. I prefer third world relationships every day.
Every day,
all day.
Great word, yeah.
But because it seems like this Mongrel Complex is present even in politics, because we can see everything that played out in Brazil, in Brazilian politics, follows what happened in the United States.
Yeah, it is.
It's like a right-wing personality, media personality being elected, Trump in the United States, and it happens the same in Brazil, Bolsonaro.
Same thing.
He tries to run for president again, like a second term, but the media and all the social and mainstream media, they're all against him.
Right.
He does not get elected. Biden does. Same thing happens in Brazil. And then the Americans invade Congress, and here we do the same, but a little bit worse. Right.
Yeah,
so it's like, unfortunately, apparently we have that. And thinking of, not only politics, but culture. And it kind of makes sense because, we're exposed to American culture all the time. Like music, movies, series.
And that is incredible how Hollywood has his effects on culture all around.
Yes.
Like in all cultures, you can go anywhere in the world. You could talk about Usher. You could talk about like Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake. You could talk about all of these, Hollywood, U.S. culture, music-wise, movies and all that. You could talk about your favorite actors, they're normally going to be from the U.S. Actors, singers, maybe even athletes, right? So that is extremely interesting how the impact media has. And internet, all the things you can search on the internet, you have the tendency to be exposed to American content.
Definitely.
Right? And it's amazing. It's amazing because when you see like, certain like singers, like artists that has like billions of views, but you've never heard of them, it's because they're like either from Spanish, countries or like India. Yeah. We don't know nothing. Like we that are more exposed to, Hollywood, Netflix and all that, it's very hard for us to see like, I don't know, Maluma and those type of guys. It's different.
Yeah.
It's completely different, but we have no clue about how famous they are with their
own country,
audience,
right?
with their own
audience,
community, right?
Yeah,
and it's incredible.
Yeah, and just one last thing I wanted to highlight about the riots is the so-called herd behavior. Herd behavior, like when you have a large group of people, like a herd, like a pack of animals in a way. Herd. It's like I'm pretty sure most people did not want to do what they did. Like just destroy, paintings and destroy public property. But if a few people do it, you're in the midst of all that confusion and commotion. It's like you lose a sense of yourself, and you start acting as a whole, as a group, as a community, not as an individual person.
But that's interesting because it's one of the things that I think that social media is extremely dangerous. It's because of that herd effect. Because once you start taking all the things you say online and you put it in the real world, because the internet is chaos. Internet is like, you say completely crazy ass shit and people will be like, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. But you'll be like, wait, what do you mean you agree with me? Like, you want to do it? you up for it?
Well, the internet is a place where all idiots meet.
So. So it's like, man, in the internet, you can say anything. If someone agrees with you, you can build like a small group and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The more stupid, the faster it gets stronger.
Yeah. And
then people start doing it in the real world and it'd be like, okay, so what is the power of all of this? Who should be using this type of, things? Because I think that, look, if you're 18, that's the right appropriate age for you to start having social media. Like if you have a little bit of conscience about who you are, then yeah, you go in the internet. Other than that, then you need to be only under parental guidance.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
No,
because they're exposed to.
Yeah, that's an important topic. Yeah,
not because it's because of these things that depression is on the rise, skyrocketed.
Definitely,
skyrocketed. Depression, anxiety, in terms of having a distorted self-image because you can't accept yourself because you compare to these unrealistic models of you
on
should
Instagram.
Either you should look like this or you should have this. Man, you're this age, you don't have this and this and this and this. You don't see all of these people on social media, like these famous and people. You should be that. And man, your story is unique. There will never be someone that has your story, and there were no one in the past that had your story. You're unique. That's your story. You have no one to compare yourself with. That's your story.
Exactly. And I think it's much better to compare yourself to who you were a few years ago, yesterday.
Yes.
As long as you're developing and improving, that's better. But if you're going to compare yourself, to somebody else, there's always going to be somebody better than you, richer than you, more handsome than you, smarter than you.
Exactly.
So you're never going to be happy.
But you don't see he's there, but what happened to him for him to be in that situation, right? And you have to compare it to yourself too. It's like, okay, so what is my life about? And if I want to change it, okay, so what can I do to make it better? But taking consideration your standards. You can't compare yourself to other people. What they do is in my case, I never had that ability to study for hours and hours. I never had that. So it's if you want to be successful, you got to study fucking 5 hours a day and all that shit, man. I barely read. Man, I barely read, man. If I read for fucking 15 minutes, I'm extremely bored. I want to do something else, So for me to actually be committed, 5 hours a day. 5 hours a day is your to be successful in life. Nigga, fuck that.
Man, that's why you dropped out. I wanted to bring it up.
I'm a college dropout. Yeah, okay. I'm not saying it proudly because I didn't want it. You have to do things that make sense to you. To me, I don't know if everyone else is like this, but in my case, if I'm not doing something that makes sense to me, I feel okay, so I'm losing contact to who I think I am. And that is extremely important. You need to know who the fuck you are. But we don't know. Right? So if you lose a sense of this connection, it's man, I can't see myself anymore. So how the hell am I going to see myself in the future? Am I supposed to stay in this direction that I don't even want to be right now in the present? Is this going to change in the future? Probably not. So, I want to do things that make sense to me. I can see myself doing this. I identify myself at this position and whatnot.
Do you identify yourself as being a podcaster?
As a stripper.
That was a good
podcaster.
I'm here for the money. But I'm playing. But I think being able to have good conversations I identify myself with, because you grow, you learn, and you can teach in some shape or form. And that's why having great conversations is like food to the soul. So having great conversations, man, it could be a podcast, it could be whatever.
Yeah,
Right?
I agree.
And that's why I think about doing psychology, because you can learn how to actually listen. And
Yeah.
and
That is
everyone,
a skill. That is
that is-
actually a skill, being able to listen. Everybody wants to speak their minds, but
Very-
nobody wants
exactly.
to listen and try to be in somebody else's shoes, understand their perspective and their point of view.
Yeah, especially because Alexandre was he was talking about this more earlier. He was all like because of his Portuguese, like he wants to be sure that you understand what he's trying to say. But then again, you have to be a good listener, because if you actually want to know what the person is saying, you have to be very attentive. You have to be sure that you're understanding where he's actually coming from, and that does not only depend on you. So like, it doesn't matter what you say, because if the person that doesn't listen to you or like is, doesn't have that practice, the other person will understand something wrong. You could explain it the best way you can.
Yeah.
But if the person doesn't know how to listen or doesn't even want to listen, he's not going to understand, or that person's not going to understand nothing. And it's going to be like a completely distorted meaning of what you wanted to pass in the first place. And that's stressful. So that's why when you find someone that actually listens to you, it's like, man, can you be my friend? like, man, can I like adopt you? Like, can you be around me like all the time? And that's what being a good listener it provides, man. You be great, a part of so many different social interactions, because you just have that one ability to just like shut the fuck up and listen.
Yeah.
And be engaged, be interested. It's not like listening just be like, because you want the person to like you or something. No, listen because you actually want to know what the person is about. And that's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
It is. How about listening to some conspiracy?
Ooh.
Come on, man.
So this is a section that I want to introduce to our podcast.
Right.
Conspiracy section. I am a fan of conspiracy sections. Conspiracy theories.
Right.
I'm a fan of conspiracy theories. I don't believe any of them, but I find them entertaining. Right. And of course, you guys probably know which one is the most talked about recently.
Recently?
No, recently. I don't know how long this has been talked about, but like right now, the one that, at least if you think of conspiracy theories, at least this one.
What is it?
No.
Which one is this? I'm kind of curious.
See. I want to get your guys' reaction on this. Let's see. On the TV, if I can make this happen.
All right. Almost there.
Right.
Almost there.
Oops.
Just right. Flat Earth.
Okay, yeah. It's in the title.
Go a little bit, like more on the top. No, more on the top. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There you go.
You're kind of smart.
I work.
How do you feel about flat Earth?
I mean, it's flat.
You're running with flat Earth theory?
Yeah, I'm
My uncle one time, so I'm from...
I'm going to tell you one time.
Can you guys just read?
No, totally. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
I can read. But put it in the beginning, because I didn't read it.
Yeah. The thing is, it's playing on my headphones and not on the TV.
But like it's like it's exploding in your ears, because I can almost like hear.
It's probably Let me remove this.
How do you feel about?
How do you feel about flat Earth?
I mean, it's flat.
You're running with flat Earth theory?
Yeah, I'm
My uncle one time, so I'm from Maine, I'm a lobster fisherman, right? So my uncle one time, he got in his boat and he went way fucking past the 3-mile line, all the way out towards Canada. And I swear to fucking God, we never saw that motherfucker again. He went all the way past towards Canada, and I believe, personally, that he sailed off the edge of the earth.
Now, can I offer an opposing theory?
Absolutely.
The earth is shaped as a trapezoidal prison. The mountain ranges and different edges. That could have explained why he fell off.
could explain why he fell off. Well, there's always the Marianas Trench, and you know that it splits the earth in half, right? And so if you fall off the edge of the earth, you just go straight in.
Yep. All right. I feel like you can sign up.
Thank you very much.
And that is why geography is extremely important, kids. At least.
Science, bitch.
That's why, Rogeri, I think people should not drop out. Of studies.
What, drop off out of what, elementary school? I at least did high school, fam.
But I find it hilarious when the girl asks, like, how do you feel about flat Earth? And the guy, yeah, it's flat. He's like, there's no debate about it. It is flat.
Yeah.
And then the girl is like talking about her uncle. And
I like the video. It was entertaining.
Man, I think that is. I think
I
it's
love this
sad.
video.
I think it's sad.
I find it entertaining.
Yeah,
I don't
love
think
it.
it's entertaining, man. I'm sorry. I like in terms of like if you want to use like stupid things as entertaining is when it's not real, right?
Yeah, when it's real,
it's like if you can laugh at Patrick from SpongeBob, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. That character doesn't even exist. But when you look at people that actually believe that, I mean, come on now, man. That's just stupid, man.
Man, I think
people believe all sorts of things.
Yeah,
and
no, they do.
Yeah, I'll let them.
But believe is one thing, but like that is a whole different thing. Man, that is so sad. That is so sad.
Well, that's the conspiracy session for our section.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, but I was interested. I found it interesting when the girl talked about the Mariana Trench, which is I don't know if you guys know this, but it's the deepest point on Earth, at least known to humans. It's in the ocean. It's like the depth is like larger than Mount Everest in height.
Oh my days.
Yeah. So it's like pretty. That's why she says like it splits the Earth in half. Of course it doesn't. But I mean, it is a pretty deep hole on Earth, like in the ocean.
I didn't even know that.
I forget which ocean. I don't know.
How can you be so smart, you?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I just Googled those things. I'm not that smart.
Well,
just curious.
You having curiosity and searching them, that's already shows you something.
Yeah.
That's a good practice right there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's a key use.
That's why he's the owner. He's the boss. He's everything.
That is why he gave orders.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's why he gives orders here.
No, but I'm really glad you guys are here. So, but
thanks.
anyways.
We like they like us.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think I could not have picked a better
duo.
Like group of people. Yeah, like both of you.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm glad. Thanks, man.
Yeah. I just got bored when I text and you guys take a month to reply.
Look,
I'm a patient man. I'm a patient guy. So
I just want to make something very, very clear. Social media, if you want to talk to me, don't talk to me. Call me.
But this group
Are you
should be
sure
a priority.
Are you sure about it?
For you.
Should we call you?
Call me.
Are you gonna
Fine.
answer? Well,
if I don't answer, I'll call you back.
Okay.
That's how I roll. Right. I don't respond. Look, I take days. I take weeks. I take years.
I take days, but not that long, man.
I take weeks. I take months because I forget. I simply forget. And my friends.
To be honest, I don't really like. To be honest, I don't really like, So I just use because I have to. Because I have business and everything.
Right.
Because if I didn't need, man, I wouldn't have this for sure. I don't like it.
Same for me. Same goes for me.
I don't like
have to be checking because clients and architects
definitely.
and engineers.
More about business and everything. Because if we're about, I don't know. Yeah, that's it.
I like talking personally like this.
I like it. When
you talk like message, you don't know how the person is receiving. So it's like when I send memes, I don't know if the person actually laughed like that. I'm like, man, did you actually laugh? Did you actually enjoy it? I'm not sure.
Just being polite, sending like a laughing emoji.
Because like when I send a meme, like in my mind, I'm like, look at this, right? And then like, I can imagine what the person is reacting. But if I can't see it, then it's like, oh, what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Got it.
And last but not least, I just want to leave a movie. Actually, a series recommendation. Have you guys heard of Ozark?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, have you watched it?
I have no idea about it.
You actually talk about
I'm the one always talking about movies and series.
No, you were talking about Ozark.
About Ozark, yeah. So Ozark is a series on Netflix. It's a TV show on Netflix and talks about money laundering, drug cartels. Kind of resembles a little bit What's it
Seems
called?
like home.
Breaking Bad.
Seems like Brazil.
Yeah, kind of.
So corruption always here.
This is
Or
interesting.
Mexico, maybe.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah, but what I find it interesting about these shows like Ozark, Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, they show they show a side of people, that is like a gray area. It's not, people are not 100% good and not 100% bad.
Right.
Because sometimes we,
They're
read books.
three-dimensional characters.
Yeah.
Right.
I think when we think about this series that you're talking about, just like, for example, Sons of Anarchy.
I've never watched it, but I've heard
this one. So it's also the same idea.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. But
So it's also the same idea. For example, we can't judge people, man. I mean, because the human being is so complex, man. The context, man. You have no idea. Why are you doing this? Man, you have no idea, man.
The context.
And
exactly.
usually we judge people based on one action and one context. Man, you have no idea what the person has been through. You don't know the person's family. I don't know.
that is like
It's really complex, man, this topic. Should we? If we think about... So that's why, man, don't judge anyone. It's better. Yeah, shut
don't
up.
judge anyone else and don't judge yourself. You're a king. You're a queen.
Yeah, and I think that's it. Well, one more thing I just wanted to mention about these shows. It kind of goes with something that Jordan Peterson says. We are all fans of Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, we're extremely fans of...
Because these shows,
dude
they
is
show,
amazing.
it's like they start with a character that is like, oh, this is a family guy. And then, somehow he ends up in crime, right? And they descend into chaos and they drag their families and they destroy their families. And you're like, oh, I would never be this guy, And Jordan Peterson is like, during the Nazi time, people think they are going to be the ones hiding Anne Frank in their basement. But probably you're going to be the Nazis who are persecuting her, like looking for her. We like to think we're like all these good people, like Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Humans are born free.
I don't remember.
Says something like we're born we're good people, and society corrupts us. People are born good.
But that doesn't make sense, because how is society like bad in the first place if people are born good? Because society is only built out of people.
Yeah,
Man, this is one topic for a one-on-one podcast. Because
It
this
is.
topic
Right.
is really good, man.
it
This
is
really good.
And if you guys want us to talk more about this, leave in the comments.
Yeah.
Good
we
one.
have no
Good
clue
one.
what we're saying.
Yeah.
So when's going to be the next one?
Well, 2 weeks from now.
You don't know.
Yeah. Well,
If you don't know, we don't know. Like we for
What's
sure
going
have
on
no
here?
clue.
but we're gonna try to be consistent in our, posting our videos. So, if you like this video, please subscribe and click the bell for when new videos are uploaded. Also, leave a comment telling us what you think of this video. Did you agree, disagree with anything we said? And tell us what you'd like us to talk about in the next video, in future episodes.
Any suggestions of how to make the quality of
Yeah,
the
definitely.
conversations
We're
better?
open.
If there's suggestions of our speaking a little bit like slowly or more clear for you guys to understand, it's all very welcomed.
Yes,
without a
let
doubt.
us know.
Good one.
This is Casting Crowds. Oh, sorry. This is a band.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have a hard
this is a band.
time. This is a band.
This is a band,
I
yeah.
like
This is
band.
Nickelback. No, I'm playing.
This is Casting Thoughts. Until next time, peace.
Good one. Bye, guys.